All right.
Yeah.
Well then, welcome back, and we're on the Twitch, and we're saying hello to the interwide webs, something whatever. Um, we're playing Witchlight or the Wild Beyond Witchlight, kind of set in Wesmia. And we're back here today. I am your DM, Windy J. We have with us Abby and Spencer and uh, hang on, Jackson and Carney Circus. I'm so getting trying to get used to all the names. Playing with us today, and we're going to be diving into where we left off, which is in the carnival, where last we played, which was last week. We had an interesting experience with a kenku. So you had just gotten off of a dragonfly ride. Yeah, it was the dragonfly rides that you got off
Yes.
of in order to try to capture somebody you saw in the carnival previously, obviously going through some form of disguise. Eventually, you capture this kenku. Discover that the kenku had access to a voice that they should not have had access to, and in the process of trying to figure out what all was going on there, you discovered they had this doll, which was basically like a voodoo doll that had taken off the voice of the person who runs the Hall of Illusions, known as Candlefoot. Once that voice was recovered by having that voodoo undone, um, voodoo, the Candlefoot was immediately realized they had their voice, and you noticed them blitzing across the carnival to go and second proposal of the night, go and propose to his beloved mermaid, who you had only just seen for the first time while he was proposing to her. So you were able to encourage a little bit more enjoyment for the general populace and improve the mood of the carnival in doing so. However, some other things transpired too. You managed to get yourselves a second meeting, this time with Mr. Witch alone, with the Kenku. And in the process of that meeting, didn't really learn a whole heck of a lot more, except that the Kenku turned out to be quite the valuable ally, and managed to procure for you the carnival owner's watch at the behest of the bugbear that takes care of the carnival staff area. And now that you have this watch, Scrags and the Kenku seem to have a little bit of a kinship, if you will. And the Kenku ended up moving on. You released the Kenku, although while still under the effects of a friendship, of a charm person kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that is pretty much where we left off. Elred and Dottie were paying attention to some dark and deep shadows that were appearing around one of the carnival game booths. But aside from that, that's where we left off.
Mm.
Anything anybody else wanted to clarify and fill in?
I believe if
Uh,
Scraggs had agreed to it, we were about to go see the bugbear while
mm.
Elrid and Dottie were playing silly games with their silly
Don't
intentions.
say silly games.
Did we see a little girl in a pig mask?
Yes, we did.
Okay, now you did see a little girl in a pig mask, ever so briefly, but it was elsewhere, not in this particular location. You have, in terms of the weird things that you have noticed, you noticed there was some rustling in the trees around the staff area. The most recent one was this strange shadow that was beside the this carnival booth of the Almiraj ring toss that you saw there. So, um, and just a quick shout out to the chat. Glad to have you guys with us.
Just a quick question. I'm a little bit unsure why exactly the bugbear wanted the watch. I know he wanted some leverage over um, Mr. Witch, I think it is.
Yes, yeah, he was looking to try and get a little bit more leverage over Mr. Witch because he felt like you would be able to use that leverage in order to get some more information that he was never going to be privy to. Of course,
Okay.
as a bugbear, he didn't say it in so many words, but he kind of gleaned that to you.
Okay.
All right, well, that's all I've got.
All right, then we carry on right there. So, Elred and Dottie, the last perception check we had was that 14, and you were unable to locate that shadow beside, and it was kind of beside the booth that you noticed it. What are the two of you guys going to do now that you've had a tough time finding that shadow?
Don't like that.
Don't-
Yeah, that was a little creepy. Should we find the others?
Um, I suppose so. Yeah, I'm not sure where they went.
You might have known that they were going towards the staff area just by nature of Scrags having informed you that they now have a watch, but that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shall we
Who's
just...
there?
do you wanna...
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start heading that way.
Yeah.
Okay. So Scrags and Shimo, you've already started along that way. Gonna get one of you to roll a perception check as you're walking past the big top.
I can certainly roll that. I should have had this up already.
All right.
23.
All good. Well, then you see everything. Is that a gnat? Okay, no, you don't quite see everything. You see a lot. Okay, but you, and in your seeing of a lot, one of the things you notice, you're also walking right past the calliope. The calliope doesn't sound all that good. The calliope sounds a little, well, dark.
Hey, Scrags,
And-
you hearing that?
It doesn't sound very nice.
So when you look over to the calliope, you're pretty certain you see see a child wearing a mask, likely some sort of swine-like mask.
I think I'm the
Lots
only
of it,
person
okay.
who. I think I'm the only person who hasn't seen or have any kind of knowledge of the pig mask girl. So
You do think you're now not thinking everybody else is crazy.
Well, you do have knowledge of it because I definitely mentioned
oh,
it.
okay.
Whether or not you believed it, that's up to
Yes.
you.
As someone proficient in disguises, can I tell that the mask is used to would I be able to infer that the mask is used to disguise her for a particular reason, or maybe is to hide some disfiguring? It's not a girl; it's a trap.
Right. Okay.
Would a 23
Let's
perception check be able to ascertain that
impart this information to you. That's what I was just trying to determine. Oof. Let's let you roll an insight check. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very challenging, but it's possible.
That's a
Oof.
no.
I'm gonna say it looks like a pig mask, and you have no idea why this person is wearing it.
Is there a way that she's kind of carrying herself? Does she seem like a kid walks in a very
Slinky.
particular slinky? Right, that's not a girl. That's something else. I don't know what, but it's something else. Do
So
we catch it, Shimo? Do we catch it in ear, or what do we do?
Well, it doesn't look like it's avoiding us or anything. Why don't we just walk over and say hi?
You're very direct. I kind of like that about you. Like your flute playing. It's so direct.
Illustrious, amazing, perfect, all words that have described my flute playing.
And I-
No, I'd still say direct right there. Just direct.
All right, so I'm definitely going to start sauntering on over.
as you were puffing up your chest about your flute playing skills, you did briefly look away from the calliope, and as you take a
No.
couple of steps forward towards it, You don't necessarily see that that character beside the Calliope anymore. The only person that you see beside the Calliope now is that monkey that was turning the handle of the Calliope.
All right, I'll
Let's-
walk over to the monkey and see if I can figure out where the girl went.
Looks to you as spare a button, if you please. I'll sew it next to all of these. I offer nothing in its place but a smile upon my face.
I think you'll see from my robes I have not a button on me, but a question.
A question. I don't think a question could go payment. But ask.
There was a girl here, wearing a swine mask. Do you have any idea where they might have gone?
Swine.
knowing the monkey, I'll say,
Swine.
yeah, like a pig, you know.
Ow!
Oink,
No. A little girl. Was she lost?
Was she what?
Lost.
Lost. In a way.
Then maybe you find her. And he points towards. Immediately, you recognize that the monkey is pointing towards the displacer beast. What that hosts the lost property wagon.
Scrags, do you think it's worth checking the lost property or not? Because it's not particularly likely.
At this point in time, I'm going to say Elred and Dottie, you definitely catch up and will notice that they're questioning the monkey.
What's going
Where's
on
we
with
did
the monkey?
Would we have heard? Were we close enough to hear the monkey speak?
You would have heard saying, kind of gesturing towards. So you're easily seeing the monkey gesturing towards the displacer beast.
Okay.
Cool.
Just making sure that I understand that the monkey can understand what we're saying.
Good clarification.
Retcon, I say it all in Sylvan.
Oh no! The monkey understands Sylvan, so sure. If you know
Just
Sylvan,
think
you
he's
know all of
speaking-
the above.
I don't know Sylvan, so I just assume he's speaking monkey.
I am fluent in monkey.
And there's a couple of moments where you actually are pretty certain that the Sylvan language does happen because of the way the monkey likes to stutter through the Sylvan language. It sounds like ooh, a little bit. So sure, I'll go with it.
Yay.
I didn't know Shimo could speak monkey. That's so cool.
I didn't either.
Shimo can speak a lot of languages.
And seeing you for the first time, Dottie, the monkey kind of interrupts whatever else is going on, kind of steps a little bit towards you. Good evening. Spare a button, if you please. I'll place it next to all of these. I offer nothing in its place, but a smile upon my face.
Oh, that's so nice. Fortunately, I don't have anything, but that's so cool.
Ooh.
Are you in charge of the music here?
After a fashion. And he's just sitting there kind of going, after a fashion.
Nice. Why does it sound so... What's the word? Dismal.
Dower? Oh.
Dismal and dour. You mean sad?
Yeah, sad.
That's the part I don't have control over. Y'all do. And points to everybody, like gestures wildly to the royal you that is the carnival.
Huh.
It might have something to do with the information Scrags gave us.
That's interesting. I wonder...
Sorry, I'm trying to say that a little more discreetly to Dottie, not like I'm not speaking to the monkey.
For sure. The monkey is just
Yeah.
now kind of brought their attention back to the Calliope and just carries on turning.
I wonder if there's a way to undo it. What if we do something of the opposite emotion?
That has improved the music before.
I'm just gonna start dancing like in the middle of the carnival and
All
see
right,
what
cool.
happens.
Oh, I know what happens. Shimo plays his flute to your dancing.
Oh,
great.
No.
All right, Dottie and
Yeah.
Shimo, performance check. And while you're
Oh,
at it,
God.
I'm gonna throw Scraggs a perception check too. While we're at it.
Okay, hey,
Oh,
hey, that's
Okay.
not bad.
Perfectly
oh.
in tune.
Alrighty then. So we find Shimo. Something feels really strange. You're playing, and you're pretty certain you're making a bazillion mistakes. And so you keep on trying to correct the mistakes, but then you're also paying attention a little bit to what Dottie's doing, and trying to. It's so hard. She dances fine, I'm sure, for her, but just it does. You can't seem to get the right key signature. Everybody else, this is the first time you've heard Shimo sound lovely on the flute.
Well, you should have said, Shimo, you play well, which is rare.
Then I'm gonna say, Shimo, you didn't suck this time.
Well, I haven't sucked any time, so thank you for noticing.
Scraggs, with your 17 perception check, you will notice that there's a lot more. There's a bunch of witchlight hands kind of moving very quickly through the carnival.
Mm.
They're not in your area quite yet. They're kind of off to the carnival is this large figure eight kind of configuration. They're off in the eights. They're not in the middle part where the big top is yet.
So does
The
it
first
look like
one-
they're going to the big top, or does it look like they're...
It
How do
looks
they
like
look? Do they look anxious?
they look like they're looking for something or someone.
I stand by my original plan that we should have immediately gone to the bugbear, but I can't not play the flute.
Scraggs might deduce that if the monkey played the calliope in reverse, it might make things happy.
Oh, interesting.
So he will ask the monkey to see. He doesn't have a button, but what he can give the monkey is a dagger.
All right.
But he'll give. I have a spare holy symbol. I'll give a spare holy symbol to the monkey to play in reverse.
All right. So you pass the holy symbol over to the monkey, and the monkey's like, oh, hmm, not a button, but and just kind of lets go, and the calliope keeps turning, and just he starts trying to place it in a variety and find the right location on the calliope to put it, and finally gets it on there. Roll a persuasion check.
Though.
And as the turn keeps moving, the monkey kind of grabs it again, keeps going. That's a nice persuasion check. That is between that and your very interesting, lovely dance, melodic dancing. You do hear that the calliope has done a little bit of an adjustment. It's not quite as dark and brooding as it once was.
Okay. And going backwards wouldn't make any change. I assume.
Well, you could certainly try. You didn't ask. You just gave them the holy symbol.
Well, that was all. But can I ask something? What happens if the calliope goes backwards? Have you tried it? Can I have a go?
I have not. I don't know. Sorry. I mean, no.
Can you just try just for 1 minute to go backwards? It'll be fun.
Sure. Okay. And just kind of the muscles are just now moving naturally this way, and kind of starts pulling, and after a little bit lifts up a foot onto the handle. This monkey is now going in around. It can't seem, and just kind of shaking on it. I don't think it's gonna work. And then just kind of finally steps off.
Okay, so it doesn't play in reverse. Okay. What do you guys want to do?
Seemed like
Ah.
dancing and flute playing worked.
I
Perhaps
think we should swiftly go to the bugbear and not draw more attention.
Oh, where are the? I see lots of Witchlight hens running around. Maybe there's a problem.
Hopefully the problem's not us.
I'm gonna whisper to Scrags, you know for a fact there's a problem and we've gotta move.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope there's no big problem like explosions or something. I mean,
I'm going
that
to.
seems like a bigger problem.
If we
than a
need an
watch.
explosion, I can do that.
No.
Oh,
explosions.
okay. Just offering.
I like explosions and I like people dying horribly, but
Just offering, no
not
offense.
right now.
Dottie, why don't you go way over there and blow something up, and we'll go
No.
way over there and talk to the
Okay, wait.
bugbear.
Hell
Okay,
no.
let's. First of all, Scrags, we'll talk about that.
What?
We're not blowing anything up.
Mm.
As long as there's no people harmed. It's probably not that bad of a thing.
Wait, why would you blow something up and not people die horribly? That
Well,
seems
it's
like a
supposed to be
waste.
a distraction. It's not supposed to be a murder fest.
Oh, murder fist. I like that sound.
No. Mm.
But yeah, we got somewhere to go. Shimo,
Onward.
Onward you
guys
go.
coming? We have something very important to do. Elred, we might need your brains.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys
Right,
start
yeah,
making.
let's go.
So you guys start making your way back to the staff area, and as you are getting closer to the staff area, Scrags, you're now able to kind of notice that some more of these people, the Witchlight hands, are kind of coming. They're starting to finish looking through for whatever it was they were looking for through the rest of the carnival. They were making their way back to the big tops, kind of towards the staff area. So you almost feel like you were going to get funneled this way anyway. And as you
Yeah.
approach, the bugbear wearing the pumpkin helmet approaches, kind of looks to you and says,
Before we go to the bugbear, I would like to palm the watch off onto Elred. I feel like he's not going to be searched by anyone, but I may be searched for some reason. So I would try to put it into like show it to Elred and have him hide it somewhere. I don't know if he would do that or not.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I've got pockets.
Yeah.
Like,
I just have a feeling that I may be searched or Shimo may be searched for some reason. I don't know why.
all right.
Huh.
And you get to the staff area. The bugbear, helmet on, kind of looks to you. Looks very like the shoulders are very tight. Everything's a little bit on edge. He's kind of he just his muscles seem taut. You look at him and he says, "Oh, I think we might have gone too far." And he just kind of pushes the bush open to you. Doesn't even say anything else. Just pushes the bush open so that you can step in.
I'm gonna slip right in.
Okay.
What do you mean too far?
Well, I have never seen Mr. Witch like this.
Oh.
Is that a bad thing?
Can't be good.
Well, what's the worst he can do? Fire you? Pfft, that's nothing.
Oh.
from what I've seen, I imagine the worst might be much more than that.
So, you all step in?
Yeah.
Okay. You all step in, and Thako, the very dour-looking clown that seems to be the one that's guarding the inside, while, of course, the bugbear guards the outside, Thaco kind of looks to you and says, "Ha! It's time we get you to the top. One last time."
We just have such a lovely rapport with the executives of this fine establishment.
Yeah, sure. Gestures you guys up towards Mr. Witch's booth, which is now just shaking. The whole booth is just shaking.
I'm gonna go on in.
All right. So you guys kind of approach Thacker's. Sir, they're back. And out comes, almost kind of stumbling out, quickly putting himself together, is the very rotund, elf-like fellow with his top hat askew. Kind of comes back, kind of settles, top hat back up, hands kind of towards his pockets. And he looks like he's at a complete loss for words.
Is something amiss?
Well,
Maybe something we
isn't
can
that,
help with?
well,
Listen, we
isn't
really
that
don't
just the
have-
thief's kiss?
We don't have a lot of time for this, you know? We're busy.
You're busy. You're busy.
Yeah. What's wrong? Looks like you've got something on your face. Maybe you should stop waving your hands around.
You have it, don't you?
Have what?
You. Do you have the time? I don't have more to rhyme.
Don't know what you're talking about.
We might be able to find some time in exchange for a few questions.
I think it was about 3 in
Okay.
the afternoon last time we checked, right?
3. It would be like 3 in the morning, but yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha.
It's like night.
It's very, very nighttime right now. Okay, so
Just
I'm gonna
pretending like
get.
I don't know anything.
I'm gonna get Shimo to roll a persuasion check.
Ah, crap.
I will try to go. Okay, I can't.
Okay, persuasion 14. First, I need to know that you can tell what time it is.
Elred, what time is it?
And his eyes just like
Uh,
shoot right over to the Dragonborn.
I'm not even gonna pull out the like full pocket one. I'm just gonna like take the chain. I assume, I assume is it?
There would be a chain on it for sure. And chat,
Yeah,
this is
just
where I
like
get
kinda-
chat involved. Because this will actually be the DM's first roll.
Like slip the chain out just so we can see that.
Okay, we'll see what happens with the chat here in just a second. But we'll see in terms of him just kind of regarding you very deeply. You. What happened to the bird?
We have
He
no
seemed rather
affiliation to the bird.
absurd. But okay, well, I am gonna roll this one out then, and let's do this way for Mr. Witch. That's not the right command. This is the right command. Yeah, he doesn't notice the chain.
Oh.
I will.
If I could tell that he wouldn't like pick up on it from that, I would. Take
Okay.
The...
Yeah, he's looking like straight into your eyes, and you almost feel like he's slightly bedazzled, but he's also very stern about it.
Hmm.
Before he takes it out, I would try to get his attention. And as Shimo had said, I would say, look, we can find it for you on the world's best watchfinder. But you need to answer our questions. Shimo, what are we asking? I really don't know.
I think our first and foremost question would have to be, what are you not telling us about the mysterious land connected to your establishment?
I tell you, you give it back.
Ah, that you must answer our questions 3.
And he smiles a very evil sneer, like, "Oh, you little bastard! You just used my own game at you." Okay. And he's like, uh, "Okay, 3, and I need to see."
Yeah, I pull out the watch. Straight answers. Anything less? He he kind of just like he puts it back in. Maybe you won't get it back in such good condition.
Roll perception check, Elred.
Yeah.
Any average person would see this, but this is Elred we're talking about, so we better double check.
Hey, I have proficiency in perception.
Hey, and you know you needed it because as you see Mr. Witch, he kind of gestures behind you, and fairly quickly you can sense a dour clown very close behind you. Not too close, so close as to make you uncomfortable, but definitely close enough to prevent any form of escape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that's fine. I'm not leaving with this.
Okay. So Mr. Witch says, kind of looks around. All right. I have to do this fast because I need it for the crowning. And okay, so the place you're asking about is called Prismere, and he says it very quietly. And the patron of the carnival, that's her domain.
Hmm. Oh, that would spark question 2. What do you know of Zabilna?
That's our patron. After a fashion. Supposed to be our patron. Hasn't been for some time. Has been, hasn't, has been usurped. Usurped. Usurped.
Hmm.
Usurped? Hmm.
When he
Wait,
says that, I'm
wait.
going to move over to Elred. I'm going to have a look at the watch. Closer
Yeah. I
look.
mean, yeah.
Just to have a brief look. Does it look like a
Um,
coin?
Nope. Just looks like
I'm
a
gonna
watch.
like. So obviously that is something important, but I have another question that he's kind of gonna look over at Mr. Wish briefly, and then he's gonna kind of. I want to ask about the pig masks. They are concerning.
Pig masks. Oh. 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 Okay. Okay. Just give me
I
one
will
second.
say
I
I
gotta
was
jump
trying
here.
to act like I was trying to say that like to the rest of the group, so that way that wouldn't count as the third question.
I think
Gotcha.
it's
Just like
kind of
kind of
out of count. The
confer with them to
Oh,
make
okay.
sure
Okay.
we want that to be our last.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
And
Well,
so
We could ask
would-
to be the monarch, which
Yeah,
seems
that's
that
what I think.
there's a lot of possibilities that might be coming up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not much of a monarch, to be honest. So I'm out of that one.
I could probably do it.
I'm just
Are
a
you-
humble monk. I don't think I'm appropriate for it.
Are
You like
you
tooting your own horn,
going to
don't
ask
you?
your other two questions?
I'm
Two.
glad he didn't count Sibilna as a second question.
Anyway,
but
in
Oh,
in
yeah,
which
Sorry, this would be your third question. Sorry. Third question. Third question.
Dang it, Shimo.
I'm not one to cheat the system.
I mean, this system though. I would like to ask about the pig masks. Is there anything else more pressing?
I believe we can ask who is the girl in the pig mask.
Um. Yeah, and yeah, I'm just gonna. What? Ask what's going on with her? Who is she?
You've met Sopig. Sopig works for one of the usurpers. Scabatha.
Hmm.
Question 4. How do you spell Scabatha?
Scabatha. Like it sounds, with a K.
So SKBA.
Oh, it's Skaba.
Oh, okay.
If-
Scabatha.
If
Basically, yes.
I would turn to him and say, if we was to help you with Sibilna and find out what's going on, would that be worth something to you?
I'm trying to think of how Mr. Witch would respond to that. What do
I
you
mean-
mean, help?
Well, we do have a little, and he'll point over to the little sorcerer. We do have a little friend, and I'm sure she'd just be dying to be the monarch of this place.
Wait, what?
Well, Dottie's the monarch now.
Come on, Dottie, it's the only thing you've been talking about, lass. Come on.
Oh yeah,
Don't
the
lie,
Monarch,
don't
absolutely. Yeah, I'd be great at that.
So what if we was to have, well, why not a king and queen? Elred and Dottie.
I look
That
toward the
would
elder
be
and
most
then
unfair.
say, in his head, this is a terrible
Whoa,
idea.
just look.
I
Kind of staying back, like, I don't think that's how the system works.
Look,
would
monarchy's
be
a
truly
very
most unfair.
strange system.
I think fairness in the face of such adversity is not our number one concern.
But no,
You're
he's
asking.
gonna look back at Shimo and Scraggs. What do we gain from both of us being the monarch?
All the land in the kingdom, I assume. The gods?
You're asking for something that I cannot give alone.
Well, maybe you can help
I
us.
will offer him back his watch now. Deal's a deal.
It seems
His
we
hands
did
are like-
actually snag this off of the Kenku. We were hoping to return it to you.
And he's just kind of very carefully reaching out, his hands shaking visibly, and you're definitely offering it to him. You're not going to do like the whole.
No,
Okay,
no.
just making
no.
sure. Okay, so grabs the watch and just flips it open. Okay,
What's so special about it?
you don't know what this does, and you took it? No.
We did not
You didn't
take
take
it.
it.
We're simply retrieving it for you.
We found it.
But
We're giving it
No,
back.
we are unaware of its perhaps true nature.
All right, I'm gonna get you to roll a persuasion check, Shimo, because you were the first one. No, it was actually Scraggs this time. Scraggs was the first one to say that. I can't put it at advantage because he is like you are seriously being questioned. Like he doesn't
Would I
believe.
be able
F
to
all of
guidance
you.
myself?
You could, yeah, that one you could guide yourself because you knew that one was coming.
Persuasion, you said.
I don't get why we're keeping it. Just out of curiosity, I don't get why we're keeping up the jig of not just that we didn't just steal it.
20.
There we go.
Okay, there's a nice roll. It's just, you really did just. And at this point in time, you're kind of getting to see him kind of resign to the idea that you really did just recover this watch for him, and you just happened to take advantage of an opportunity. And he kind of feels like, huh, you would have given it back to me anyway. Wouldn't have mattered what I say. All right.
Well, we
Look at
wanted
me.
some straight answers from you for once.
This watch helps me to manage the carnival. What goes up must go down. What smiles must also frown. And he just kind of holds open the watch, kind of gestures to the watch as he affixes it back into his pouch.
I really want to take it again. We're not finished our questions, buddy. We got two more questions.
He said, looks to you. Do you really think you can fix whatever's going on in Prismere? Get rid of the coven?
We would need your
Wait.
assistance in every way you have available. But if you're willing to work with us, I believe we can.
Scraggs is going to be like, wait. Coven? What? Coven is a very special word, and I don't like that word. What?
As you're saying that, you kind of hear a little bit of rustling behind you, and you kind of grasp that there's somebody walking up behind you. You turn to take a quick peek to kind of see what that was, and Mr. Light is now joining the party. Mr. Light, with his very checkered gesture, very ridiculous large smile painted onto his face, much skinnier fellow than most elves, even Shimo, and with his scepter. And he walks up to Mr. Witch, in particular, walking past the rest of you, and just kind of grabs his arms. What are you doing? What are you doing? And just a little bit of whispering. If you want to see if you can figure out what they're saying, you'd have to roll a perception check, but they're definitely whispering to each other.
Absolutely rolling a perception check.
Absolutely.
22.
All right, so with a 22, opposite a nat 1. That was kind of nice that 22 was the first one. Oof. Anyway,
All right, the rest of us are.
you guys can't tell anything. You're bedazzled by the spectacle that is Mr. Light. Shimo, you see right through things and can hear not only a rustling in that same tree that you heard last time, but also these two whisperings. What are you talking about? The coven? You don't understand. They had my watch. They had my watch. What are you doing without your watch? We didn't understand. They might help. Kind of gesture back, and they just. Mr. Light says, "Welcome. And how do you think you can help us?" Mr. Witch looks very downcast right now.
Well, we have similar interests. We are looking for a patron that you're looking for, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to get them back. Maybe things that you're not privy to doing or not brave enough to do so.
Elred kind of cracks his knuckles to accentuate that point.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's roll a new persuasion check for Mr. Light's sake, as opposed to Mr. Witch's sake. And this will be with
Ah,
advantage for
crap.
sure, thanks to the help of Elred.
Why am I always persuading people? I'm terrible at this.
I don't know. You gotta stop trying. Oh, well, thank God you had
Thank
advantage.
God for advantage. Oof. Okay, that's. All right. What can you do?
We can fight, and we can investigate, and we can do whatever it takes. Maybe go places that you can't, possibly attached to this very establishment.
Seems to me you know more than you let on. You have visited the Hall of
said the same
Illusions,
thing.
have you not?
Yes, we have.
Then seems that something must have happened there, for you to know as much as you do.
I think
And
you could
seeing as
say that's
Candlefoot-
true.
Seeing as Candlefoot can talk again. Thacko, can you go get Candlefoot? Thacko's, I'll send the bugbear, turns around and walks away from you guys a bit. So, Mr. Witch then kind of leans over to Mr. Light and says, I think they can do a lot more. We can't do it ourselves. Because you can hear this a little bit, Shimo, and everybody else can't really hear this. But they've also seen so big, and they put 2 and 2 together there too. So, we need to get this dealt with because the crown. They've also asked to get that one to be the crown, to be the monarch. And Mr. Light looks towards Dottie. Really? Pulls out their scepter. Okay. And what have you done that would make you eligible? Just kind of waving this scepter around you. And the weather vane that's on the scepter, it's spinning calmly at this exact moment.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm magical.
she offered not to blow the place up.
I did. It was a big moment for me.
I think that's pretty big.
Thacko kind of goes like, you can hear the Thacko the clown going,
She's almost as good a musician as I am.
She can
Really?
dance. She can burn her enemies.
She's-
That's pretty handy.
That's right.
I'm well-rounded.
Well, not like Mr. Witch, but close enough. Why don't you play me a tune? Mr. Witch.
Yeah.
I'll try to guide.
Can I do the help action with my flute?
Oh God!
Sure, make it with disadvantage. Okay.
I think that would do the opposite.
That's what I'm saying.
Can I use my guild inspiration here?
Yes, you certainly can. Yes, you
Okay.
certainly can.
I'm going to try to
Shimo,
guide her.
do you have... Shimo, I'm going to get you to roll a quick insight check for this decision first.
Okay, insight.
Ooh.
18.
You get this very big sense that if anybody gets involved in this in a way that that would detract from Dottie, would probably not serve well because they're definitely testing Dottie, not anything else.
Oh, okay.
On that note, guidance. What's the spell components for guidance?
I don't think there's any spell components. I'll just
No, but is it like
send it to her.
verbal, somatic? I think it's somatic, isn't it? Certainly verbal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a verbal somatic. So if you want to try and give guidance, you're going to
That'll
have
be
to do a
negative.
sleight of hand check.
what do I
Honestly,
feel
I
like the outcome would
have.
be if I did anything negative? Would it be negative if I was seen?
You would
No. If
you'd
that's the
have to
case,
do
I
an
would just
insight
let
check too.
Dottie
Yeah.
do everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would just let Dottie. I have faith that she
Okay.
will
Cool. I already
do it
have
All right.
advantage, so hopefully this
Well,
works.
let's let now the cool thing about guild inspiration for those of you who are in the chat trying to figure out what the heck guild inspiration is with the Windy JD&D guild, we have a whole bunch of different games, and every once in a while the guild gives out inspiration like DM inspiration, and so we give them and they can use them between the games for that matter too. So this is Dottie's guild inspiration, which you only need to roll like DM inspiration if you feel like you need to. So you can choose it after you've done your original roll.
Okay.
So go ahead and do your original roll first, and then we'll decide.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So that 17, or you could take the 20. It's entirely up to you.
I'll take the 20 just to be safe.
All right. So you're gonna have to write in the guild in the Discord how you use your guild inspiration, but a 20 is a pretty darn good roll.
Sounds perfect.
And so describe your performance, if you will, please.
So it's the same type of music as before. More of she's from a halfling village, so more of the laid back folk music. Nothing too complicated, but I think being the second time around, she's less nervous, so it's more put together this time around.
All right. There's a couple of moments where you can actually kind of hear the Calliope music kind of sail up and over the big top extravaganza as well, and it's obvious. It kind of fits the lilt that's in there. Dottie does a minor adjustment to the tempo to make sure it kind of matches the lilt that comes from the Calliope, and as a result, it almost feels like it was designed for to match the Calliope and to match the carnival by extension. You guys can actually feel the entire carnival running a little bit more light. And as you're playing, Mr. Light is waving his weather vane around you and then stops and then just kind of holds it out in front of you while you're playing and just looks and listens. And the weather vane, for anybody else who's paying attention to it, is starting to spin faster and faster. And suddenly he starts looking at the weather vane. Oh, you're that one. That was lovely. I could find a way. We may. It's unprecedented. We may need to crown two. Can we even do. Are you willing to share the crown as. Well, do you prefer king or queen?
I suppose queen. Who would I be sharing it with?
Well, there is a young fellow. If you were at the big top, you saw him sing. He's done many other things since, and he's just brought so much joy to the carnival. It would be poor to not recognize him. But it could also help you if you are truly going into Prismere.
Would he be joining us?
No, he is 6. No,
Oh, sorry.
no. He just deserves some credit.
Absolutely. We'll probably be around the same height, so it'll work out.
It's true. All right. How do you do about that, Mr. Rich? Mr. Rich says, all right, you need to know more. What? You need to know more. You need to know who the Coven is. And the problems that have come as a result. If you've ever been to the carnival, you will have known that the goblin at the gate tells you about the rules. Well, the rules are enforced by the Coven. Currently, anyway. And he just kind of rolls his eyes. And he's speaking very low, so you guys all kind of have to lean in to hear him. For example, if you try to go into a ride without a ticket punch. You may lose something. If you sneak into the carnival, you may lose something. And it's at this point in time that I'm going to get everybody except for Scrags to roll a history check.
$20.
Oh, and that.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right.
18.
Wow. Okay, you guys. I need
Yeah.
to find my notes for this. I think they're all. No, you guys might actually have all this. So, as soon as he says that, this is when things start to click together because you guys all rolled wicked awesome, and so it kind of reveals the world to you, especially to Dottie. You all have visited this carnival before, either 8 or 16 or 24 years ago, depending on your age. And the last time you visited this carnival, something went missing. And that might not have been an object per se. It could have been, oh gosh, now I can't remember them all because I don't have my note. I thought I had those notes here and I don't. But what you realize now is that those things that were missing link perfectly up to what Mr. Witch said. Either you went onto a ride without a ticket punch, or like the mines or the dragonfly rides or something like that, or you actually just snuck straight in, or maybe even just got in without even realizing you had to pay, or something to that effect. So the things that you have lost, and this came from the very beginning of the game when I asked you guys to roll some extra funky things. Actually, let me see if I can pull up some information here for you to do some reminders. Let's see here. This will probably be it here. Gonna find it. I promise you I'm gonna find it. It's gonna happen. Here we go. Right, so I believe somebody doesn't you don't have. Oh, there it is. So Shimo, this actually connects you to a little bit more. How was your roll on this one? Your roll was a 20, right? Yeah,
Yes.
Shimo, you're starting to realize this is interesting because it's been since the Witchlight Carnival you were at it last that everybody started complaining about your flute playing, despite the fact that you are actually really, 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 really amazing. And let's see here. It's along those lines, and Dottie, I really can't. I gotta look this up now. This is gonna irritate me until I find it. Give me a moment.
I have mine if you want them.
Yeah, if you could share it if you want or not, but it's been a while since you apparently since I've kept track of these things. Okay. And then Elred, you had something that was missing. It went missing as well.
I had two things.
Me too.
Yes,
One,
Yeah.
so the missing thing I think is my ability to write.
That is correct. That was correct. I gotta find. There we go. So let's see here. Yes, and Dottie, it was the first one, not the second one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay. So, as you guys now connect to this realization, it becomes kind of obvious to you that it's very possible you could potentially get it back. Because what Mr. Witch, especially with what Mr. Witch says to you next, anything that is lost or taken goes to Prismere. It's not forsaken.
Well then,
It goes normally to Zybilna, but now to the Coven.
What do you know about the Coven? Sorry.
There are Sisters 3. Sopig works for one of these. It's Sopig and 2 others that collect the lost things.
And would you be able to give us appropriate direction to finding them?
To finding Sopig? Or to finding the lost things? The lost things fall into the ownership rules of Prismir that would be difficult to recover them without effort. And Mr. Light is kind of starting to look a little antsy on the side.
Well, we've actually lost our little toaster. It just disappeared. We're kind of looking for that as well. A little thing on legs.
And Mr. Light recognizes, yes, the automaton creature,
Yeah.
of course. I don't know that it's lost. Just not with you.
Mm-hmm. Shimo?
I'm heartbroken that they would leave us willingly. I don't know how much I believe that. Someone to not want to stick around to hear my music? I just can't fathom it.
Mr. Witch says to you, I have a manner of passage that neither Light nor I can do. If that would be helpful, I would offer it to you.
Ah, yes, that would be quite beneficial to us.
Then it is settled. You'll go to Prismir. And after the crowning of the monarch, we'll also stay here. But we'll take you there and wish you care.
Can I send a message to Mr. Witch
Sure can.
in his head? So he would just hear, you know what I want here. If I go to Prismir with these people, will I find the source of my magic? That's what I'm here for.
Let's see here. Give me a quick second on that one. Give me a hot
Yeah.
moment. Let's see here. He looks to you and says, he looks to you briefly, but then stops looking at you and then kind of watches Scraggs again. For whatever reason, he kind of moves his eyes between Scraggs and Shimo most often, so he's purposefully not looking at you as he responds. And he said, in your mind, you hear, I cannot speak for Prismir, but many receive their magic there.
Okay. And she just nods.
Mr. Light said, while that conversation happens, Mr. Light's already talking. We must get ready. We must get ready. Go to the big top when you hear the call. In the meantime, you have about 5 minutes before you hear that call. Go play a game. Make yourselves inconspicuous. And after the crowning, we'll take you to the Hall of Illusions and show you the way.
Excellent. One note, I know the way.
And immediately Mr. Witch will kind of nod, but Mr. Light will frown in confusion. Mr. Witch, yes, but there's a certain power that is required to get you there.
Well, I would not turn down a generous guide.
All right. Thaco starts walking up into you guys and says, well, you heard Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. They have things to get done, so it's time to get out.
Well, we could play a few games in the carnival while we wait. Anyone else opposed to that?
No, I've got tickets.
I suppose if we have nothing else to do.
Shimo, as you guys start stepping out, are you going to pay any attention to that tree that you keep here rustling from?
Definitely. I heard it last time and I want to check it again.
Okay. Are you doing it stealthily, or are you gonna just dive straight in like Elred did last time?
I'm just going for it. I'm
Okay.
not a sneaky fella.
All right. So as you step into the bushes and kind of towards that tree, the bugbear, not the bugbear, the clown kind of looks at you. Okay. Just looks very odd and reaches out towards you, but you've already kind of stepped away a bit faster, monkeyness and stuff. But as you get closer to the tree and you look up in it, again, there's nothing there. And except for as you kind of get there and you look up, a couple of seconds later, and you feel something grip the back of your shirt and just yank you out. That's not the way. And Thaco's now kind of dragging you towards the exit. And Burley. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say to Thaco, I think your security might be loose. I constantly hear someone outside of your area, possibly towards that tree.
Just kind of grumbles at you the entire time as he kind of shoves you towards the exit.
Okay, I'll go along.
All right. And as you guys walk past Burley, the bugbear, and Burley kind of takes off his helmet, just kind of lifts up his helmet. Is everything okay?
Everything's howdy doody, Burley. We got what we were looking for.
He just kind of grins and just puts the helmet back down and stands up nice and tall and lets you guys go by.
I have an idea with this
Okay.
girl, but it might not be a good up. But it might be a bit dangerous.
There's no such thing as a bad idea.
Depends on who you're talking to, but
I'm going to go into the Hall of Mirrors without punching my ticket.
You might lose something else, but
That's why I want you to follow in with your ticket.
You run in, I'll punch.
Well, that's usually how that goes.
Oh, you run in ahead. I'll say, I got him. Punch my ticket real quick.
No.
And I'll follow in after.
But yeah, that's the plan. Basically, I go in without punching my ticket on purpose to lure her out.
All right. Where are you going? So you've got a whole bunch of options for this. You got a whole bunch of booths that have all these very
The
interesting
Hall of
carnival
Mirrors
games.
is the one where we knew that she...
Right. But you also have, like, beside you, there's that bubble pot. There's a large teapot that you've got labeled on your map as the bubble pop teapot. The Pixie Kingdom. In the corner nearby the Hall of Illusions, there's some snail racing apparently. You could also go the opposite direction, although the further away you go from the big top, the less like you are to get the great seats. It's up to you as to what you're gonna do.
As much as Spencer wants to see all of the games, Shimo likes Elred's idea. So I think I'll head over with Elred to the Hall of Illusions.
All right.
and then I'll look over to Scraggs and say, "What do you think?"
Well, there's not much I can do. I haven't got any spell slots left. I'm kind of all out of tricks. If they're going to confront this creature, I mean, I think we better go with him.
Yeah, I agree. I still have some magic left in me, so I'll cover for us.
I hope so.
All right. So Elred, then I'm gonna get you to quickly roll a perception check.
Yeah.
Let's see.
1 sec. Something weird was going on with the roll 20. I'm reloading it real quick.
No worries. On your way there to the Hall of Illusions, a little ways away, you can still see the glass cabinet that has the. Now, Dottie, this will be the first time you've seen it. Glass cabinet that has a depiction of a very well-to-do lady inside it. Skreggs, Shimo, and Elred, you already know what happens when you get too close to that thing. But on your way by, and actually, Elred, let's not worry about the roll right. Oh, never mind, you did it. Yeah, okay, cool, that worked. Elred's the first one to notice
sweet.
this. Then, Elred's the first one to kind of have this waft of candied apple fill your nose from one of the booths. And it's at this point in time that you guys realize that you have been awake since relatively early in the morning, and the last time you ate a meal was easily over 8 hours ago.
This is true.
I'd hate to say it, but Dottie's a halfling, so she would probably run straight after the candied apple.
Yeah, there's a couple of kids in front of the candied apple booth already, and it's a booth. It's just a regular booth. It's actually the one immediately beside the statuesque lady, and so you see them. This Witchlight hand just kind of hand over some candied apples across the side, and like there's 2 for each kid. So he's given each two to each kid that's there, and the kids start just kind of licking and start moving along their way.
Can I try to blend in with the kids?
You certainly can. Try. Go ahead and roll a. What do you do? Performance or deception? One or the other. Your choice. Player's choice.
They're actually both the same for me, so.
Marvelous. Yeah, but whichever one you choose is the one I'm going to use for the role play. So you chose that. So, go ahead and explain, demonstrate how you would try to portray yourself as a child.
So she's gonna keep her head kind of down. That way her facial features don't show as much, just because she would look a little bit older than the rest of them. But height-wise, she's the same.
Right.
So she would just kind of try to blend in that way.
Alrighty then. So with her blending in, trying to blend in with a bunch of other kids, are any of the rest of you guys going to the booth for some candied apples?
I don't trust the food of this place.
Probably. I'm starving.
I've got good days if it comes down to it.
All right, so Elred, there's and just in the nick of time, Dottie, about 3 or 4 other kids kind of start running up. You can hear that their mothers or fathers or family members are a little bit distance away. They just kind of abandon the parents to go over to get some candied apples, and it's the person inside this booth, elvish, half elvish character. She kind of leans over and she says, "Now, mind your parents, mind your parents." And then she kind of, as you get closer in, she looks to you and she says, "I love your hair. Mind your parents, and oh, big fellow, here you go." And she's just handing them out. And you could hear a whole commotion in the wagon behind the booth as well. And she almost, like, her skin almost looks like it's been glazed with the caramel itself. Anybody who has ever worked in a donut shop knows that feeling.
Actually, I work with ice cream, so yeah, I can kind of.
Yeah, you can tell. You end up
Feel
wearing
that.
a layer of sugar that you end up having to
Yeah.
chisel off at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
that's
So
fair.
yeah,
I was
you get the sense
worried
that
it
this
was like
person's doing that.
something else. Like it was like somehow it was coming from them, and like that's why I was kind of iffy.
Oh, that would be
Like
Yeah.
she was using her sweat to.
such a great way for me to do that next time I play this game. Okay, good to know. Writing that one down. Okay, brilliant.
It's a weird Fae place. I don't fucking know.
What? That's right. Okay, so you now have candied apples, and you can chew into them. And Shimo, you don't see them any worse for wear after they start biting in. Scrags, are you gonna go get one too?
Yeah, I'll get a few candied apples.
Okay, and you do, and you go up, and she kind of leans over and looks a little bit deeper at you. Yeah. Enjoy. And doesn't even say, mind your parents to you.
I hate my parents. I just walk away.
All right then. And just keeps on passing out. At least 30 more, please. And then you guys can carry on. Dottie, you gonna check out the statue lady or just gonna walk by?
Probably just walk by. Just
Okay,
gonna try to
so-
stay close to the others.
As you guys approach the Hall of Illusions, it's now time that you actually hear a couple of the Witchlight hands kind of doing the town crier walking through. Join us in the big top. The crowning of the Witchlight monarch is about to commence. But as you approach the Hall of Illusions, Candlefoot is back there and just looks straight at it, like gleaming with positivity. Beforehand, he looked very, very sad when you first met him, and he is just absolutely glowing. There's almost like even the white and gray suit that he was wearing, the white and gray striped suit that he was wearing, almost looks like it's got a little bit more blue color in it.
Oh no, what did they do to Candlefoot?
It's like, is the dress black and gold, or is it white, or white and gold, or is it blue and black? You kind of get that sense of a shimmer change to his clothing.
Alright, I'm gonna walk over to Candlefoot, friendly put my hand on his shoulder and say, "Are you okay? What happened?"
What happened? Did you hear? I have, and it sounds weird coming from Candlefoot instead of coming from the Kenku. But you hear the same voice, and I have my voice back. It's been missing for so long. I was able to propose, and she said yes. I thought she'd say no after all this time. I thought she thought that I was ignoring her, and that I didn't like her. She still said yes. What are
I'm
you doing,
so
Elred, at this
happy.
Mhm. Well,
Sprint in.
I suppose our plan should wait until after the crowning.
You get the sense
say
there's a
go for
little
it
bit of time because
first.
they only just started announcing it, so you might have like a few moments.
All right. I kind of look at Candlefoot. I'm sorry about this. You do it, and I just sprint past him.
Oh, what?
Candlefoot, quick, punch my tickets. I'll go in after him.
Again? And just punches your ticket.
I'm heading in. Oh wait, let me
Okay.
record my ticket punch.
All right, so Elred and Shimo, as you
Yes.
dive in, well, let's resolve something else here real quick first. Scrags and Dottie, what are you guys gonna do?
They need help. And I'm gonna hold my ticket out and be like, I guess I should go in too. I'm still eating my candy apple.
Okay,
Just
cool.
nonchalant.
Scrags, what are you gonna do?
Scrags is gonna kind of look around for his ticket and be like, "Where's my ticket?" And then realize it's stuck to his cloak from the candied apple. Take out his ticket and be, "Do I want to get it punched?" I'll hold it up to get it punched, and then
He
I'll
punches
go in.
it for you. All right. So you've all experienced, except for Dottie, this Hall of Illusions before. As you step in, you of course see exactly as you expect to see inside in the mirrors. And Elred, you're just dashing right past a lot of the front mirrors first. Are you just going straight to the one that you remember?
I'm mostly I'd probably slow down after I got past Candlefoot. I'm mostly just looking for the girl to show up.
Interesting. Okay. And but Dottie, the first time you walk in, you look to the mirror to your right, and immediately you see an almost infant, a walking infant, with your birth color hair. And the next mirror, a little bit older, and a little next mirror, and very quickly you recognize that each one of these mirrors is you. And you even recognize the year at which your hair color changes, and it seems to have recorded it perfectly.
Huh.
Until you carry on to a point where you're actually looking at an exact reflection of you, or what you remember of yourself for the last time you looked in a mirror.
She's probably walking back and forth trying to see what happens.
It's like very much that older, younger, younger, older, younger.
Yeah.
And if you go past your the one that looks like you currently, you start to see a couple more crow's feet as you continue to go past some of these mirrors, and then a couple of bags that appear under here, a little bit more reddish nose, and the pink hair stays, but everything else seems to age little bits at a time.
Huh.
And if you want to, you can keep going all the way to the end.
If there's another way to go, she would probably take it because she doesn't want to like see herself die.
Fair enough. So she kind of, that's what you
She'd be
gather.
like, no,
So
thanks.
you do approach a mirror where there's a little etching in the floor. Apparently, there might have been a javelin stuck in the ground here. Who knows? But you do approach that spot, and you look towards that mirror. Elred, you will have been able to find that relatively quickly because you know it quite well. You kind of went in and out of it. So what are you doing at this point? You haven't seen anything yet.
I'm gonna peek my head through the.
You're going to peek your head through the mirror?
Yes.
Okay. So you take a step forward and you lean your head in. Thunk! Your head hits the mirror. Roll perception check.
I think out of character I know why this happened, but I'm not sure.
All right. So as you do that, you kind of rub your forehead a little bit after having smacked yourself into a mirror, confused. You kind of look to the left and look to the right, and you're pretty certain you see a shadow in a different mirror further down.
Yeah, going towards that mirror.
Okay. And the shadow looks, as you get closer to it, you do clock the shadow, it moves into another mirror, and then it moves it back into another mirror, and it looks like it's kind of moving away from you.
I want to like get the others like either gesture or tell if they're not like within, if they're not looking at me, to like follow me, and then
so everybody
keep
else,
going.
as you notice this, as he says, it kind of tells you guys to follow him. You kind of make a quick look to see what he's looking at. You also can see this shadow moving very fast through the mirrors, basically towards the door.
I'm gonna sprint after it, definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here something real quick. I need that. And I'm going to go with... All right, so yeah. Let's see here. I need to do this too. We'll do one more thing, and then... Okay, cool. All right, so as you guys kind of start to follow this shadow, it gets to the very last mirror, and which is right beside the door, beside all of the very infantile versions of you, as you guys are running to try to keep up. And then as you do, you can actually see the shadow leave the mirror, and then it just runs in front of the door, behind Candlefoot, and disappears outside of the Hall of Illusions.
Oh, we just got in.
I want to try touching that last mirror that it was in.
For sure. As you're running by? Or are you going to
Oh
stop
no,
and
I'm
touch
gonna
it?
stop in front of it.
Stop. Okay, the shadow is now passed outside. You go to touch it, it's still a mirror.
Okay, yeah, and then just keep.
Yeah, I'm
What did
gonna
the shadow
sprint
look like?
after.
Did the shadow have
Alright.
any definition, or
Roll your own perception check. Elred's wasn't large enough to actually get that kind of detail. It's moving too fast. This would be also the last perception check to see this one out. Yeah, okay, yeah, that'll do. That'll do just fine. It is not a like So Pig, the pig-faced girl by any stretch, because it's much taller. It's got long hair. The face has this very strange shape on the side of it, almost like a crescent moon. And that's about as much as you can tell. Can't tell age. You can't tell. Aside from longer hair, you can't really tell gender because longer hair doesn't really give that away,
Crescent
right? But it's also very black and dark and shadowy.
Would I like as soon as I've heard of coven, I know hags. Are there crescent hags, moon hags? I don't like hags. They're very, very bad news. Um. Okay. 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 Maybe we could go on some of the rides before we go to the big top.
Well, as you guys get back to that front doorway, Candlefoot is there. He kind of leans into his. Did you get him? Oh, you need your ticket punched.
Is the shadow still moving?
You look outside, and it's now really dark outside. Well, I mean, it's always been dark outside, but you do not see the shadow anymore.
Dang, he kind of like, not like breaking it, but just like kind of does that like thing where you like you slam your fist against like the wall, just like dang it. Then he kind of pulls out his ticket and lets Candlefoot punch it.
He kind of leans away from you, kind of slightly afraid of you, and punches the ticket.
Sorry, I guess. And yeah, I mean, he's mad that that they got away, but you know. Other than
How
that,
long? How long would it take me to go through and touch every mirror?
Not long. Probably like, if you were to run and just kind of like glide your hand along every mirror, you'd be able to get this lovely long streak of elvish fingerprints across all of them in probably like 30 seconds.
All right, I'll go ahead and do that just in case.
Okay, yeah. All the way through the mirrors. Nothing falls in. So, you guys exit?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go out.
All right. Candlefoot says, "You better hurry. All the seats are going to be gone."
I think they hold a special seat for us.
Do they? You must have done some really wonderful things here aside from this. I mean, I know you helped that halfling couple too. Yeah, they might.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you better, and thank you for your time. I'm sorry about our little excursion here.
That is fine. Nothing can bring me down.
All right, and I'm going to. Wait, does it feel like it's like you said? There's going to be a few seats left, so it is just about time for the crowning.
Sure feels like it. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna
The
start heading
carnival
over.
feels like it's almost emptying into the big top.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna start heading over.
All right.
I'll
Let's
skip that way.
All right. We bring ourselves then to that one there. Okay, cool. So let's find here. Okay, so as you guys enter the big top again, it's Burley the Bugbear, pumpkin helmet on, greeting everybody as they are coming in. Hello. He looks at you and he's like, hello. And then to the next person, hello. Just kind of lets you guys all the way in. So you guys all take your seats, and again, the seats are very much vertical. So your knees are on somebody else, like at the same height as somebody else's head, and very cramped into these seats. And you guys are able to get to some seats somewhat near the top, because everybody else is already filled in the bottoms. So and as you finish kind of taking your seats in, you notice that the displacer beast that you guys already met earlier on is now walking in from the back of the tent with Mr. Witch on his back. And so Mr. Witch riding on the back of a displacer beast with big butterfly wings on its tentacles. And then after Mr. Witch dismounts, and the displacer beast sits to kind of sidles up to the sidelines of the main ring, of the center ring of this carnival, or of this big top extravaganza. And fairly quickly you realize that where the displacer beast goes, so does Candlefoot, sitting right there beside as well. Mr. Light also kind of comes back down in on the same ring that he dropped in from in the big top extravaganza. Bedazzled in every color of the rainbow, and in some cases it looks like bejeweled at the same time, and settles himself down gently beside Mr. Witch as he says, "Welcome, welcome back, one and all. Tonight we crown the Witchlight Monarch." And then, hurrah! A bunch of clapping and applause coming from the crowd as the as Mr. Light starts walking around a little bit. "And I wonder who it shall be," and starts kind of waving it around a little bit, and starts walking through the crowd a little bit. And as he's doing this, in comes wheeling in the mermaid in that large fishbowl, and you can hear her start to sing, and the music is think Celine Dion kind of gorgeous music, but with a little bit more of a lilt. And pixies all fluttering all around this fishbowl with this mermaid in it. And as the song kind of concludes, Mr. Light approaches in the middle of the audience, a short humanoid, and taps them on the shoulder. And immediately there's a crowd right around there. They just kind of lean into him and he kind of extricates the 6-year-old that did a beautiful song earlier on in the Big Top Extravaganza, and he's just glowing. He's now got like extra hats, and he's got a candied apple in a hand. He's got the strange shimmering cloak on him, all sorts of things and souvenirs that he didn't have earlier on in the night. He now has a whole bunch of them, and he starts walking up towards the front. As he's walking up towards the front, you guys notice two other people right near the front as well that you recognize. One of them is a child that you earlier met in the feasting orchard, and the other one is a robot. And they're both just watching. And so as Mr. Light brings the monarch to this child to the front, he places the crown on a crown on this on this child, and a whole bunch of clowns come in and just shower him with glitter and song and whoops and hollers. And then in the midst of it all, and everybody in the audience is clapping and cheering, in the midst of it all, but wait! And Mr. Light says, "You are not the only one. Unheard of." And is just looking at the weather vane, which is just spinning wildly, and starts making his way, hush, hush, throughout the entire crowd as he starts walking up. And you can actually hear the calliope music coming from the weather vane this time, as he comes up and eventually gets his way all the way up to you guys and has to sidle through some people to get to Dottie. And Dottie places the Witchlight hand, and immediately as it touches, as the Witchlight hands, or as Mr. Light's weather vane taps you on the forehead, you can hear inside your head this gorgeous music of your people just fills your ears and mind, and you feel elevated a little bit without actually having to do it yourself. It's like it's much easier for you to stand up. And Mr. Light says, "This better work." And and we have another, and just crazy. This is nuts that's gone in here. Even the clowns at the front look confused and joyful at the same time. Get the sense this is not common. So you guys, and Dottie, you're going to come down now then too.
Yeah.
Question mark? Yeah, okay. So Dottie comes down, and you kind of settle up beside the boy. And as it turns out, he's about an inch taller than you.
Aw, dang it. I'm gonna try to make myself look taller, like kind of shuffle up a little bit.
Yep, fluff up the hair just a little bit, whatever the kid takes, right? So,
Yep.
and then this time it's Mr. Witch who brings over a crown, and it is placed on your head. Pixies come flying around your head. The music in your mind is still going, and big cheers and eruptions of laughter and louding that comes after this. As you do so, the you hear fireworks that erupt from behind the big top extravaganza. It is now time for the parade of the monarchs. King Helbin and Queen Dottie. Queen Helbin, and then a whole bunch of sounds as Durligron, the displacer beast, comes up, and Mr. Witch lifts you both onto the back of this displacer beast, and the boy in front of you. The boy goes in front of you, you go behind, so you kind of have to either decide how are you going to hold on? How are you going to hold on, Dottie?
So it has like butterfly wings.
It has
almost?
butterfly. It's like canvas that they've tied up to the to the tentacles. So the tentacles are what holds these butterfly painted chunks of fabric, so to look like butterfly wings.
Okay. I'll probably grab onto one of those then and hope for the
Okay.
best.
All right. And so, and immediately in front of you is Helbin. And Helbin kind of turns over his shoulder and says, "This is so cool." And then the displacer base kind of takes a few very gentle, and you guys can feel it's not like a horse. It's very thrusting, if you will, to ride on the back of a feline creature like this. And the displacer beast takes you right out, and everybody behind and immediately the rest of the other three of you guys feel kind of clamored. Everybody stands up and starts following, kind of filing out, and you guys start doing this large parade through the entire carnival, starting with this displacer beast, and you got Witchlight hands and booths who are all just cheering, "Your Majesty, Your Majesty!" A couple of times, some strange pixies come flying from you, God knows where, to around your heads and say, "Your Majesty, Your Majesty!" And just this carries on throughout the entire carnival. Is there anything else that you guys are doing while this parade is happening?
I think I'm going to be keeping a close eye out for either the moon head or the pig face, seeing if they've joined in any way.
Sure. Go for it and roll a perception check. Scrags
Alright.
and Elred, anything else that you guys are doing?
Not really.
Okay. So then think Disneyland Midnight Parade, kind of just absolute wonder and spectacle. You got dancers along the side from the that are obviously Witchlight hands. You've got large floats that seem to have materialized from the back of the big top, all coming through this entire carnival. People who did not go to the big top, which isn't very many, they're all sitting on the side. They're just like all the way through the entire carnival. There's so much spectacle and wonder in this space, Shimo. You can't really, you're just distracted. Every time you try to regather yourself, you just end up being distracted and you can't see anything at all. And as you guys get back to the big top on your second time through the figure 8, Mr. Light kind of climbs upon a stilted ladder that leads to the front of the big top, and says, kind of, "All hail King Helbin and Queen Dottie!" And the Witchlight hands, they all kind of bow, and everybody else kind of bows. It bows because they're like, "Okay, that's what I'm supposed to do now, so that's what I'm going to do." And Miss Light says, "That brings us to the conclusion of the Witchlight Carnival. Thank you so much, and may you always find wonder everywhere you go." And immediately a whole bunch of lights, and you can actually, Scrags, I'll let Scrags see this. In the back, you can see Mr. Witch, and he kind of does a little flick to his watch, and immediately all of the lights that were normally strewn across the entire carnival start to kind of pave like landing flight path lanes towards the exit. And people start making their way towards the exit of the carnival. And Witchlight hands are kind of ushering them that way, except for Helbin and Dottie. Helbin and Dottie, you guys are taken by the Displacer Beast back into the big top tent, which is now very, very empty.
Okay.
And eerie. And a couple of moments later, Burley captures or tries to grasp Scrags and Shimo and Alred and escort you guys into the big top as well.
Yeah.
Yep, following.
I, in fact, would have been adamant about trying not to leave if they were staying behind.
Yeah. And Mr. Witch is now just kind of sitting on a crate. What a night. We have to wait for a bit before the crowds clear. So he kind of settles in. You guys get the sense that this is just going to be kind of a very deflated few moments. Is there anything in those moments that you would like to do before?
I'm kind of gonna like, without trying to say anything, I'm just gonna like look at like Witch and Light and then like look over at the kid that's like still here, just like kind of trying to like just like, is he supposed to still be here with whatever we're about to be doing?
Oh, man. Helbin! Congratulations. It's been a pleasure having you here at the carnival. And Helbin's just kind of looking like, this is what it's like when it's quiet? I can see why you want everybody to leave. Can I go home? Yes, of course. If you go to the Calliope, your parents will have been brought there. Okay. And just jumps off the Displacer Beast and heads out the front.
All right, I'm gonna say, to Mr. Witch. Previously, there was an entrance in the Hall of Illusions, but upon inspection again, there is no longer.
And you kind of immediately, it was open.
For a very short period of time.
Well, that's troubling. But you're going in now. And maybe you can prevent that from happening again. Why would it open?
I think it was the girl, Sopig, you said? She was drawing a man towards the mirror that was open.
You caught it in flux. It's not very common. It happens. But it's not common. And as I've said before, those things that are lost never stay so.
Excellent. So you said there was a benefit here to this this crowning specifically. What might the like why specifically did we go through everything to get crowned?
And as you say that, and as you ask that question, Mr. Light now kind of comes back in. They're almost all gone. Hello, Your Majesty. I wonder if we can start kind of making them get kind of getting them there now. Can we do that? Because I know that you're going to need to pack up pretty quick. And Mr. White pulls out the watch, and you can see he's very tightly gripping it, and he's looking at it. Though, no, that's quite true. Let's go. By the way, did that answer your question?
I believe so now.
Good. And he finally stands up. He looks very weary. Mr. Light still looks like he's light on his feet and dancing. But the two of them, well, Mr. Light leads the way. Mr. Witch kind of ushers you in front of him. and you guys all start making your way to the Hall of Illusions. Inside the Hall of Illusions, there's no Candlefoot there. It's very dark in this entire carnival. All of the lights have kind of been turned off except for the ones that are like traffic lighting, showing people the way out. So you guys step into the Hall of Illusions, and the Witchlight vein, which is what the one that Mr. Light is carrying, is letting off a very soft glow. And he kind of goes to a mirror, and Mr. Witch goes to eventually kind of ushers you guys all the way into that same mirror, and says, "Are you absolutely certain that you can do something about this? Because, well, I suppose I could live with you being gone for a long time. Nonetheless, I don't like it."
Certain or not, we've what you've got.
And he looks at you and he smiles. He says, kind of places his hand on your shoulder, and you feel a little bit of warmth enter your shoulder. He says, "Very well said." So he turns to the mirror and says, "Well, everything you seek, as you already know, lies beyond this mirror. If you mean to step through, then stand in front of the glass and repeat this rhyme." And he kind of faces away from the mirror towards you and says, "Hither, thither, here and there. Wander yonder, show me where." And then he bows his head to you. "I will be packing up the carnival. It would be wise not to be in it when I'm doing so.
Think he means it. We gotta go.
Sorry, I was just typing that. In any case, I'm going to walk up to the mirror and say, "Hither, thither, here and there, wander yonder, show me where."
And the mirror shimmers, and you can now feel like you could probably step through it.
I'm stepping
Your
through.
reflection is now gone. Yeah, your reflection is now gone. So you now step through, and you are now on that same causeway as you have already previously experienced. And now, immediately as he steps through, the rest of you behind it, your reflections are back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, let's go through.
Scrags will step in front of the mirror and say, "Yeah, whatever he said." And try to
Mirror
walk through.
doesn't. Boom!
I don't remember. I never wrote these things down. What do I say? Help me.
Mr. Witch rolls his eyes.
Hither, feather. Yeah, I don't got it.
And now he's going like this. Hither, thither, here, and there. And now the DM's forgotten the rest of it. Wander, yonder, show me where.
Hither, thither, here and there, yonder, wander, show me where.
Wander yonder.
Wander yonder, show me where.
Eventually you guys go through it. So you keep on padding and you keep on repeating. One of the times as you're padding and you finally finish the repetition in just the right order, you fall through and you're on the causeway, face first on the ground because you fell through. And the reflection comes back, and so it's Dottie and Elred last.
All right, looks like it's just us.
Hither, thither, here and there. Wander yonder. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go with
Show me
Shimo
where.
to do a trick
Show me
as soon
where.
as they
Yeah.
come through.
And then,
Shimo.
yeah, just
Okay,
walk
and
through.
it shows up, and you walk through, and it shutters behind you, and Mr. Light kind of grasps Dottie on the shoulder. "Your Majesty."
Yes.
And Mr. Witch says, "Mind the rule of 3. Future, present, past." And he kind of gestures through the mirrors as he's doing it. And Mr. Light says, "Find the alicorn and free the dormant queen at last." And they immediately turn and walk out of the Hall of Illusions.
Huh. Okay. Hither, thither, here and there, wander yonder, show me where.
And as the mirror kind of starts to shimmer, You start to step through, but as you step through, and just off of your last heel as you step through, you could hear a whole bunch of folding. You look back, and you could see all of the mirrors folding up. The floorboards are all kind of folding up. The tent looks like it's about to collapse, and you're through.
Okay.
And now,
Jesus, they did not give us much time.
no, they did not. Scrags, you said you were going to do something as soon as you arrived, so go ahead and tell me what you were going to do, and then I'll resolve the rest of it.
Well, I basically wanted with me and Shimo to do a little trick on them as soon as Elrond steps through. We
Okay,
both
so
start
let's go ahead and do it.
shouting and screaming, "Fire, fire!" And Elrond is just like, "What the hell is going on?" He's completely blustered by what's happening.
I'll join in with that. I can go for a trick or two.
Okay, so Elred, as you step through, you see these two screaming, "Fire, fire!"
Oh wait, I'm gonna produce flame.
You're just holding up flame.
Fire, fire!
Wait, are we setting things on fire?
Oh yes,
Well-
definitely.
I can
And
do
so-
that.
Dottie, you step through, and you will see Shimo holding fire, and Scrags just screaming, "Fire, fire, fire!" as you step through.
I'm gonna make it fly around all over the place.
Nice. So, guys, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light said something before I stepped through.
I'm gonna unproduce the flame.
So they told me to remember the rule of 3, present, future, past, and to find the Alcorn, free the dormant queen at last. I don't know what any of that means.
Find the acorn.
The dormant queen. That more than likely refers to Zabilna. But the alicorn, we'll have to try and see.
So with that, Dottie, you now have never been here. The other 3 have been, but you have never been here. And so you now, as you kind of finish saying that, you realize maybe I should take in my surroundings. You stand at the edge of a raised and broken causeway. So you can look off to the right-hand side and you see that there's the causeway just kind of crumbled away, and off to your left, a number of hundred feet away, same story. The sky is hazy, it's twilight. The causeway, which is built from pale stones, the stones seem to have this very faint glow inside them. And then you look out towards the landscape beyond the causeway, and you can see towers throughout this very swampy, misty type area that goes beyond the causeway. That swamp spreads out in all directions around you, and you can get the swaft, the candied apple smell that you had before, which was very nice and sweet, and is very much opposite to the smell of the rotting plants that you experience now. But you can also, the music has also changed considerably, in so much as it's not music. It's more like croaking frogs and cawing and singing birds and toads and sometimes some insects that you can hear as well. It's natural symphony.
Welcome to Prismere, Dottie.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
That's pretty much all she was gonna say. She's just taking everything in.
Okay. And just as Shimo finishes saying that, you guys all clock something unusual in the sky. Off in the distance, as you're kind of gesturing out to Prismere, you suddenly see a balloon, like a hot air balloon, made of some very patchwork material. And you can see that it's kind of spinning out of control, like as though it had been punctured in the top or something like that. And the whisker basket is just going going wildly. It's a lot miles away from you, and then the balloon plunges out of sight, disappearing into the fog about a mile away from you from the causeway.
Well,
That
I
is where we're
think
going to
that
stop.
would be. I was just going to say, I think that's a good place for us to start.
Welcome to Prismeer, guys. You've made your way.
Yay!
Yay.
Correctly this
Now
time.
now I don't know about you guys, but I need a long rest.
Yeah, you might need it.
And what about those that group of bandits that initially when we came down initially? Are they still there? They disappeared?
Don't know.
We're about 100 feet up and a good distance away.
Yeah, you'll have to go through the process next week to find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, rock on,
Cheers.
guys.
Cheers. Thanks very
Ooh.
much.
Thank you, Ed. It was a
guys.
very good session.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you
was a
guys
lot of
very
fun.
much. Well,
Next week it's Wednesday, isn't it?
no, not next week. That'll be next month. Next week it's still Tuesday.
Next month. Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank
Awesome. Thanks for the follow, Bree. Appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see if I can find
Yeah.
somebody to raid here too. So, yeah, if you guys want to hang out for that, that would be cool.
I gotta.
Awesome.
I gotta work in the morning.
For
See you
sure, for
guys.
sure.
Good luck.
Take care, guys.
But
Bye.
All right, guys. So it looks to me like we're going to go and raid Slash Key. No, actually, you know what? We're gonna raid Vlad Spear. We raided Slash Key last week. We'll raid Vlad Spear this time. So, those of you who are hanging out here with me, let's go. All right. See you there.